welcome back to Googie's Kitchen, and if you're new here then hello and welcome. My name's Alexis and I post 2 videos a week on a Tuesday and a Thursday at 7 AM. So if you love a recipe video like this one and you want to see more, then please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And now I'm going to share with you how to make my delicious simple onion chutney. As I just mentioned, today I want to share with you how to make my delicious simple onion chutney. Now this recipe is really easy to make. My mum this year grew a lot of onions in her garden, and I suggested to her that I make an onion chutney with the leftovers, the ones she couldn't eat up. So she said yes to this. I used to make this many years ago when she had an allotment. She used to grow onions there. It was one of her favourite things to grow because she said they were dead easy. So I suggested to her back then to make onion chutney and she seemed very pleased. So I made some. I made some for my mum and I made some for us as well, and we all really enjoyed it. Unfortunately, I don't have any homegrown onions for this recipe. I do have shop bought ones for this time around, but I'm sure it's still going to taste really good. So I thought that I would make some today because my husband asked for some for his sandwiches for work. So I thought I'd make some today, and of course I thought I'd share the recipe with you. So here is how to make my delicious simple onion chutney. For this recipe I've got myself a large pan and I'm going to put this onto a high heat, and then I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of olive oil to the base of the pan. I use olive oil because it hasn't got any like nasties in it, and you can heat it to quite a high temperature without anything happening to it. So I do like to use olive oil, but you can use any kind of oil you like. And I'm just going to leave this pan now to heat up. The pan is getting nice and hot. So what I have done is I have peeled and sliced. So I've topped and tailed the onions, so I've taken off the bottoms and the tops and I've peeled them and then I sliced them. I've just sliced them very small. If you wanted to chop the onions because you prefer your onion chutney that way, then that's fine. We quite like it sliced, so I've just left it sliced. And I'm going to put the onions into the saucepan now, and I'm going to cook these until they start to soften. The onions have started to soften and they've also started to go a lovely golden brown colour as well. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in 8 cloves of garlic that I've just simply peeled and sliced. So I'm going to put those in and I'm going to fry these with the onion now until these start to soften and go a golden brown colour as well. The garlic has started to soften and the onions are just starting to stick on the bottom of the pan. If they do stick before you get to this point in the process, then you can always add a little bit of water to help deglaze the pan and to help the onions from stop sticking to the bottom. But I'm just going to say now that my garlic has started to soften and it's started to go a lovely golden brown colour, and this is smelling really nice as well. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in my sugar. So I've got about 100 grams of coconut sugar. If you can't get coconut sugar, you can use brown sugar. The reason I use coconut sugar is because it slides through the liver slightly easier than any other sugar, so it's quite a good sugar for you. If you're looking to cut down on sugar in your diet, then this is a great one. So I'm just going to mix this in and I'm going to let this melt with the onions now. The sugar has melted down and I've turned the heat down slightly, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in my apple cider vinegar. So I've got about 200 ml of apple cider vinegar for this recipe. I use apple cider vinegar again because it's slightly healthier than any other vinegars and it's quite good for you as well. So I'm just going to bring this to the boil, which I think is already started to do really. And then I'm going to turn the heat down and I'm going to leave this to simmer for about 10 minutes or until it starts to go sticky basically. But before I do that, I'm going to add in about half a teaspoon of salt as well, just to give it a little bit. So the salt will help to preserve it, but it also helps to bring out the flavours in this chutney as well. So as I said, I'm going to leave this to simmer until it starts to get sticky. As you can see, most of the liquid has simmered away and the chutney has started to become quite sticky now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this from the heat and I'm going to leave it to cool completely. I left the chutney to cool for a good few hours and it's now cool enough to put into my glass jars. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to transfer this chutney into the glass jars. So I'm just using some old leftover glass jars that we had when we bought from the supermarket. So I've sterilised them, I've made sure they're clean, and I'm just going to add the chutney to those. This chutney, I would say that you would have to leave it a week before tasting it, before trying it, because it can be quite sharp and vinegary if you eat it now. But if you just leave it to mature in a cool, dark place like a cupboard, then it's normally okay. It's delicious with cheese, this chutney. It's really nice with cold meats as well. And dare I say it, it would make a brilliant Christmas present too. Christmas is coming, everybody. You have to say it, don't you? So yeah, I'm just going to continue to do this. Oh, if you wanted to try it now though, what I would say is if you put it on a plate and put like a teaspoon on a plate and put it into the freezer, then you can try it before the week. So I'd give it 5 to 7 days before actually properly tasting it. But if you wanted to taste before, then you could put it on a plate, put it into the freezer, like a teaspoon on a plate into the freezer, and then you leave it for about half an hour. And then after that it should be okay to eat and you'll get the flavour of what it's going to be like within the week. So yes, that my friends is my chutney done. That's how you make my delicious onion chutney, and as I said earlier, in a week's time we will be able to enjoy this with some cheese or some cold meats. It does smell really nice though, I have to say. It does smell slightly vinegary at the moment, but once it's matured for a week it won't smell like that anymore, and I promise you it's absolutely delicious in sandwiches with cold meats. It's really nice with curries as well, so it's quite a versatile chutney, I have to say. So anyway, that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. Please feel free to give me a big thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and please feel free to leave any comments below, and please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. See you all soon. Bye.